Welcome to our Hong Kong Brief Show. I'm your host, Jenny. Today, we're diving into some lively news from around the globe and our city. First up, Hong Kong stocks took a little dip, dropping 0.3% as tensions between the US and China over tariffs kept investors on edge. The Hang Seng Tech Index also slipped, but interestingly, mainland Chinese markets edged up a bit, showing some resilience. Next, we turn to the UK, where a Hongkonger living abroad shares worries about Britain's cautious stance towards China. With ongoing tensions over Hong Kong's autonomy, many feel the UK's diplomatic approach might be a bit too soft, potentially undermining the fight for democracy and freedoms in our city. It's a delicate balancing act between economic interests and human rights. Finally, Hong Kong is making waves in Europe. Amid the US-China trade tensions, European businesses are turning to Qianhai in Shenzhen, with Hong Kong playing a key role in financing and exports. Infrastructure projects, like a cross-border railway, are on the horizon, promising new opportunities for our city's vibrant economy. Please continue to watch for the full story. The South China Morning Post vividly captures the current turbulent mood of Hong Kong's stock market, where the Hang Seng Index dropped slightly as US-China tariff tensions cast a shadow over investor confidence. Despite some gains on the previous day, fears persist that unresolved trade disputes could further dampen sentiment. The U.S. market responded with notable optimism after Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent clarified that President Trump had not unilaterally offered to reduce tariffs on China, leading to a significant rally in the S&P 500. Meanwhile, new companies like Heilongjiang Tianhui Electronics and Johnson Precision Technology Group burst onto the scene with impressive surges, signaling a potential shift in the market dynamics amid geopolitical uncertainties. Across Asia, the Nikkei and Australian markets show resilience, though South Korea's Kospi dips, reflecting a cautious but active regional landscape. Yahoo US offers a deeply personal perspective on the evolving UK-China relationship, highlighting the emotional and political complexities faced by Hong Kongers living abroad. The author, a Hong Konger holding a British B&O passport residing in Britain, reflects on the painful departure from a city whose freedoms are rapidly eroding under the national security law. The cautious stance of the UK towards China, driven by economic considerations, stirs a sense of unease among the diaspora, who fear that renewed cooperation may sideline their struggles and diminish the moral clarity that initially drew them to Britain. For these expatriates, their lives are intertwined with the fate of Hong Kong, and they continue to advocate passionately for human rights and democratic values, emphasizing that geopolitics is ultimately about real people's lives, voices, and futures. The South China Morning Post further details how escalating US-China trade tensions are reshaping economic collaborations within the Greater Bay Area, particularly in Qianhai, Shenzhen. European chambers of commerce, including those from the UK, France, and Sweden, are increasingly seeking opportunities in Qianhai, viewing it as a vital hub for innovation and export amid the trade war. Local companies like Revi Technologies and Ubtech are experiencing opportunities rather than setbacks, with some seeing accelerated product development and increased orders. The region's infrastructure projects, such as the planned Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link, exemplify efforts to deepen cross-border integration, promising to slash travel times and bolster economic ties. As China's economic prowess continues to grow, the strategic importance of Hong Kong as an international finance hub remains central, supporting mainland companies' ambitions to expand globally despite ongoing geopolitical challenges. South China Morning Post reports that the proposed San Tin section of Hong Kong's northern metropolis highway could threaten local ecology, encroaching on wetlands and habitats vital to wild species. This 23-kilometer corridor, connecting Tin Shui to the New Territory's North New Town, is planned to cut through sensitive ecological zones including Lam Tsuen Country Park and Deep Bay Wetland. the preliminary government study warns that construction might directly impact habitats for birds such as egrets, herons, and bitterns, as well as amphibians, butterflies, and dragonflies, by fragmenting and destroying these environments. The report emphasizes the importance of mitigation measures, like habitat reinstatement, buffer zones, and wildlife corridors, to minimize ecological damage during construction, which is slated to begin investigations soon with a target completion in 25 months, aiming for tendering in 2027. South China Morning Post highlights how Hangzhou's Six Little Dragons and other mainland Chinese tech firms are increasingly leveraging Hong Kong's financial infrastructure and international connectivity to expand globally amid the ongoing US-China trade tensions. During a visit to Zhejiang, Hong Kong's chief executive John Lee engaged with companies like DeepSeek, Minicore Tech, and BrainCo, which are gaining prominence through innovations in AI, robotics, and gaming. These firms see Hong Kong as a strategic base for fundraising, listing, and international expansion, thanks to its mature legal and logistical framework. Industry experts note that the city's role as a superconnector can help mainland companies avoid trade barriers and access global markets, fostering local R&D and attracting international talent. This movement also aligns with Beijing's broader strategy to integrate Hong Kong into China's technological and economic development, especially in the face of US tariffs and trade restrictions. The South China Morning Post explores the rich history and social fabric of New York's major Chinatowns, revealing how immigration patterns have shaped their development over decades. Manhattan's Chinatown, established in the 1850s by Cantonese immigrants, grew from a small enclave to a bustling neighborhood known for its restaurants, markets, and cultural landmarks like the Chinese Opera House. Despite historical violence from Tong rivalries and gentrification today, it remains a vibrant Cantonese hub. Meanwhile, Flushing's Chinatown in Queens emerged in the 1970s, initially populated by Taiwanese immigrants seeking better housing and cultural familiarity, evolving into a diverse community with cuisines from across China and Korea. Sunset Park in Brooklyn, once home to Scandinavian immigrants, became a Chinese enclave in the 1980s, first Cantonese-speaking, then increasingly Fuzhounese and Mandarin speakers as new waves of immigrants arrived. These evolving communities reflect New York's dynamic immigration history and continue to shape the city's multicultural identity. South China Morning Post highlights the enduring importance of overseas judges in Hong Kong's top court, emphasizing their invaluable contributions over the past 28 years. The article recounts personal experiences of legal professionals who have argued cases before eminent jurists from the UK, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, describing these judges as the fifth judge on the bench whose insights extend beyond commercial law into constitutional, criminal, and family law. Despite recent resignations, the author asserts that Hong Kong has cultivated sufficient local talent, but the presence of these distinguished overseas jurists continues to serve as a vital bridge connecting Hong Kong to the global legal community. The article underscores the unique role these judges play in shaping jurisprudence and maintaining Hong Kong's status as a superconnector, supporting the notion that their expertise and international perspective remain crucial for the city's legal landscape. South China Morning Post reports on the arrest and sentencing of U.S. Army Sergeant Corbian Schultz, who was sentenced to 7 years for leaking sensitive defense information to China. Schultz, holding a top-secret security clearance, pleaded guilty to sharing at least 92 classified documents, including details on U.S. weapons systems, military tactics, and strategies related to the Ukraine-Russia war, which could be applied to defend Taiwan. The court revealed that Schultz believed the recipient was linked to the Chinese government and paid him $42,000 for the information. His arrest follows closely after the detention of 2 U.S. Navy sailors accused of spying for China, illustrating the heightened vigilance of U.S. authorities against espionage efforts by China. The case underscores the persistent threat posed by foreign intelligence activities targeting U.S. military secrets, with officials reaffirming their commitment to safeguarding national security and punishing traitors. South China Morning Post provides a vivid portrait of Patricia Taylor, the glamorous English mother of Keanu Reeves, revealing her colorful career and close relationship with her son. Born in 1944 in Hampshire, Taylor started as a showgirl in Paris before becoming a costume designer who crafted stage outfits for music icons like Dolly Parton and Anne Murray. She famously designed the bunny suit worn by Dolly Parton for her 1978 Playboy cover, a costume Reeves humorously reenacted for Halloween years later. Taylor's personal life includes 4 marriages, and her influence on Reeves is evident in his stories about her teaching him good manners and supporting his early career, notably through her second husband, film director Paul Aaron. Known for her youthful appearance, Taylor remains a beloved figure in Reeves' life, often seen supporting him at high-profile events, illustrating a close bond that has endured despite her age and his Hollywood fame. The South China Morning Post paints a vivid portrait of Grace Karras, a 22-year-old social media sensation who has ignited controversy and admiration within the golf community. Karras, who only picked up golf during the pandemic, initially used provocative outfits and flashy videos to garner views, quickly amassing over 6 million followers on Instagram and TikTok, surpassing legendary golfers like Rory McIlroy in online popularity. Despite her lack of professional golf skills, she remains committed to improving, playing frequently and working with coaches, all while maintaining her entrepreneurial spirit by planning to launch her own clothing brand. Her journey reflects a blend of glamour, ambition, and a desire to introduce more people to golf, even as critics dismiss her as entertainment adjacent, emphasizing how her provocative content has challenged traditional perceptions of the sport. The South China Morning Post also details the ascent of Bollywood's richest actresses, highlighting their multifaceted careers that extend beyond acting into business and brand endorsements. Deepika Padukone, with a net worth of $40 million, has diversified into fashion and mental health initiatives, while Alia Bhatt, valued at $65 million, has co-founded production companies and invested in brands like Nykaa. Priyanka Chopra Jonas, with an $80 million fortune, has achieved international fame through Hollywood and Bollywood, endorsing luxury brands globally. Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, the highest paid at $100 million, leverages her iconic status with endorsements from top-tier luxury brands, and Juhi Chawla's impressive $545 million net worth is largely attributed to her involvement in production, cricket team ownership, and real estate investments. Their stories exemplify how Bollywood actresses are transforming into powerful entrepreneurs, leveraging their fame to build substantial wealth across various industries. The BBC reports on the UK's strategic negotiations to lower US car tariffs amid ongoing trade discussions with the Trump administration. UK Chancellor Rachel Reeves has signaled openness to reducing tariffs on US car imports from 10% to as low as 2.5%, aiming to foster a broader trade agreement. While the UK insists it will uphold high food standards and not relax regulations on agricultural products like hormone-treated beef, it is eager to remove barriers that hinder trade, especially in the automotive sector. The negotiations are set against a backdrop of global trade tensions, with the US imposing tariffs that impact both economies, and the UK seeking to balance economic growth with protecting domestic industries and standards. Reeves emphasizes the importance of securing a deal that benefits British industries and consumers without compromising standards, signaling a cautious but optimistic approach to deepening UK-US trade relations amidst a complex geopolitical landscape. The South China Morning Post reports that Kenya is strategically pivoting away from Western influence and deepening its ties with China, as President William Ruto visits Beijing to seek funding for major infrastructure projects like the extension of the standard gauge railway to Malaba and a significant highway expansion. Already, deals worth €750 million have been secured from 7 Chinese companies, bolstering sectors such as manufacturing, agriculture, and tourism. The visit underscores Kenya's shifting geopolitical stance amid rising trade tensions with the United States, which has imposed tariffs and reduced aid, prompting Nairobi to turn towards China as a vital partner. President Xi Jinping's welcoming ceremony and discussions on strengthening cooperation within the Global South highlight China's growing influence in Africa, with analysts viewing Ruto's visit as a symbolic victory for Beijing, positioning Kenya as a gateway to the continent. Meanwhile, Kenya is also moving away from European investors, terminating a €1.3 billion highway deal with France's Vinci SA in favor of Chinese contractors, further illustrating its strategic realignment in global trade and diplomacy. The South China Morning Post also highlights Hong Kong's educational renaissance, as 6 universities in the city break into Asia's top 50 for the first time since 2017. Notably, the University of Hong Kong ranks 6th, and the Chinese University of Hong Kong moves up to 9th in the 2025 Times Higher Education Asia University rankings. These institutions demonstrate resilience amid fierce regional competition, with Hong Kong's universities excelling in international outlook and industry-related metrics. Tsinghua University in mainland China maintains its top position for the 7th consecutive year, with Peking University and regional peers like the National University of Singapore and Nanyang Technological University also performing strongly. The rankings, based on teaching quality, research environment, and industry impact, reflect Hong Kong's commitment to academic excellence and its rising prominence in Asia's higher education landscape, even as some local universities experience fluctuations due to intense regional competition. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.